Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when you realize no one is coming to save you. No mentor, no miracle, no magic shortcut, just you, your choices, and the courage to change. The truth is, the most important project you will ever work on is yourself. And the moment you commit to that work is the moment you stop waiting for life to happen and start winning at it. Life will always test you, and those tests often come without warning. One day you feel unstoppable, and the next you're questioning every step you've taken. That's the beauty and the brutality of growth. But here's the truth. Nobody else can walk your path for you. The most important project you will ever work on is yourself. And working on yourself isn't something you do just when it's convenient or when the world is cheering you on. It's something you commit to when no one is watching, when your doubts are louder than your confidence, and when every excuse feels justified. It starts with self-awareness. You have to look in the mirror, not just to see your reflection, but to truly confront who you are right now. Your habits, your strengths, your weaknesses, your fears. It's uncomfortable. It's raw. But until you're honest with yourself, nothing will change. You cannot build a stronger version of yourself on a foundation of denial. Ask yourself, what is holding me back? What do I keep avoiding? What story am I telling myself to stay in the same place? The answers might sting, but they are the keys to your next level. Once you see yourself clearly, you need to decide what you want your life to stand for. Because without a vision, you will be pulled in every direction by other people's agendas. Your goals should not be about pleasing the world. They should be about building a life that excites you, challenges you, and reflects your deepest values. And remember, the vision is yours. So pitegias tari anitokati. Protect it. Don't expect everyone to understand it, because they won't. Some will criticize, others will doubt, but your job is not to convince them. Your job is to keep moving forward. Working on yourself also means learning the discipline of consistency. Motivation is wonderful, but it's fleeting. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation disappears. It's what gets you up when the bed feels warmer than your dreams. It's what makes you say yes to the work and no to the distractions. You will have days when you don't feel like it. And those days will matter more than the easy ones. Because every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. You also have to develop the courage to fail. So many people never win at life because they're too afraid to lose. But the truth is, you will fail. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. And each time, you'll be faced with two choices. Use the failure as evidence that you're not good enough, or use it as feedback to come back stronger. Failure is not the enemy. Fear is. Fear keeps you in the comfort zone. Fear convinces you that average is safer than exceptional. But fear will also quietly steal the best years of your life if you let it. So take the risk. Bet on yourself. One of the most transformative things you can do while working on yourself is to take responsibility for everything in your life. Not blame, responsibility. There's a difference. Blame says, it's their fault. Responsibility says, this is my life and I will do something about it. The moment you take responsibility, you take your power back. Because as long as you wait for someone else to change, you are handing them control over your future. No one is coming to save you. The world owes you nothing. But you owe yourself the effort to create the life you want. And as you grow, you will notice something. Your environment matters. Who you spend time with, what you consume, the conversations you engage in, the energy you allow into your space, it all shapes you. If you want to work on yourself, you have to guard your environment fiercely. Spend time with people who challenge you, who push you higher, who remind you of your potential when you forget. Let go of relationships that drain you, even if they are familiar and comfortable. Growth often means outgrowing people, places, and patterns. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Working on yourself also means taking care of your mind and body. Your body is not just a vessel, it's your engine. If you don't fuel it right, if you don't move it, if you don't rest it, you are sabotaging your own potential. And your mind, it's the command center. Feed it with learning, with curiosity, with perspectives that expand you. When you invest in your mind and body, you build the capacity to handle the challenges life throws at you. Another truth about working on yourself is that it's not just about reaching goals. It's about becoming someone who can handle the weight of those goals. Many people want success, but they haven't built the character to sustain it. Working on yourself is about building resilience, patience, empathy, and emotional intelligence. It's about mastering your reactions, managing your ego, and choosing growth over comfort. You have to be willing to unlearn. Some of the beliefs you've been carrying for years are the very things holding you back. Maybe you were told you're not good enough, that you need permission to dream big, or that life is meant to be endured, not enjoyed. Those are lies. You have to challenge them. Working on yourself is not just adding new habits, it's also removing the ones that no longer serve you. It's rewriting the script in your head. And then there's persistence. You cannot dabble in self-growth. You can't work on yourself for a week and expect miracles. This is a lifelong process. There will be seasons when you feel unstoppable, and there will be seasons when progress feels invisible. But every small step counts. Every small act of discipline, every uncomfortable conversation, every decision to show up, it all compounds. One day you will look back and realize that the person you've become is unrecognizable from who you used to be. Lastly, understand that winning at life is not about comparison. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. The race is not with them. It's with you. And the victory is not in one big moment, but in the hundreds of quiet wins that no one sees. The mornings you got up early to work on your craft. The times you chose growth over instant gratification. The days you kept going when giving up felt easier. Those are the victories that build a life worth living. Working on yourself is not glamorous. It's messy. It's lonely at times. It will require you to shed layers of who you used to be, and that can feel like losing yourself. But in reality, you are finding yourself, the version of you that was always there, waiting to be uncovered. And when you commit to that process, you don't just change your life. You build the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to win at it. And as you go deeper into that process, you'll realize that working on yourself isn't just about external success. It's about internal mastery. Because what good is achieving all your goals if you're still restless, insecure, or unfulfilled inside? Real victory is when you can be at peace with yourself, when your happiness is not fragile and dependent on what others say or do. That's why the inner work is just as important as the outer hustle. You can build the empire, but if you don't build the heart and the mind to go with it, you'll always feel like something is missing. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is learning to control your perspective. You can't always control what happens, but you can control how you see it. Perspective can turn obstacles into opportunities. Perspective can turn a setback into a setup. Perspective can take pain and transform it into purpose. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's about recognizing that your power lies in interpretation. If you choose to see every challenge as a chance to grow, you will never truly lose. You also have to understand the value of patience. In a world obsessed with instant results, patience becomes a superpower. Working on yourself is not a sprint. It's a marathon without a finish line. There will be seasons where progress feels painfully slow. You'll do the work, and it might seem like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, everything is happening. Seeds don't sprout overnight. Trust that the work you put in will pay off in ways you can't yet see. The ones who win at life are not the fastest starters. They're the ones who refuse to stop. And along the way, you must be willing to adapt. Growth is not a straight line. The plan you start with might not be the plan you finish with. Life will throw detours, and sometimes the path you thought was the way will lead you to a dead end. This isn't failure, it's feedback. Working on yourself means developing the flexibility to pivot without losing sight of your vision. It's being open to new ideas, new strategies, and even new dreams. Stubbornness to the wrong plan can keep you stuck. Adaptability keeps you moving. Part of winning at life is learning to separate your worth from your achievements. Yes, success feels good. Yes, it's satisfying to hit milestones. But your value as a human being is not defined by your resume, your bank account, or the applause you get. When you tie your self-worth to external validation, you give the world the power to decide how you feel about yourself. True confidence comes from knowing you are enough even when no one is clapping. That Shakable self-belief becomes the foundation for everything else. You'll also discover that self-discipline and self-compassion must work together. Discipline without compassion can turn you into your own worst critic. Compassion without discipline can make you complacent. You need both. Push yourself to rise, but forgive yourself when you stumble. Demand excellence from yourself, but don't withhold kindness when you fall short. Working on yourself is not about perfection. It's about progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, is worth celebrating. There's also power in learning how to be alone without feeling lonely. When you're working on yourself, there will be phases where it feels like you've stepped away from the crowd. Not everyone will understand your choices, and not everyone will walk the same path. Solitude can be uncomfortable, but it's also where you meet yourself on the deepest level. It's where you hear your own voice without the noise of the world. And when you learn to enjoy your own company, you stop making decisions out of fear of being alone. A big part of personal growth is managing your energy like it's currency. Because it is. You have limited mental, emotional, and physical energy each day. Spend it on things that move you forward, not on things that drain you. Drama, gossip, endless scrolling, pointless arguments, they all rob you of the energy you could use to build your future. Protect your energy as fiercely as you would protect your bank account. Every decision you make is either an investment or an expense to your growth. As you keep working on yourself, you'll see that habits shape destiny. The big wins in life are often the result of small, consistent actions repeated over time. Wake up earlier, read more, exercise regularly, practice gratitude, plan your days with intention. These things may seem small, even insignificant in the moment, but they compound into life-changing results. Your habits are proof of your priorities, and if your habits don't match the life you say you want, something has to change. You must also become comfortable with saying no. Not every opportunity is worth your time. Not every invitation deserves a yes. And not every demand on your attention is urgent. Saying no is not selfish. It's self-respect. Every yes you give to something meaningless is a no to something that matters. When you work on yourself, you realize your time is the most valuable thing you have. And you begin to guard it like a treasure. There will come moments when life throws you storms you didn't see coming. Heartbreak, betrayal, loss, failure. In those moments, your growth will be tested more than ever. It's easy to be motivated when everything is going well. The real work shows up when nothing is going your way. These storms aren't meant to break you, but to shape you. They strip away what's unnecessary and force you to discover the strength you didn't know you had. You don't find resilience in comfort. You find it in the fire. And when you rise from those storms, you gain something priceless, perspective that no success alone could give you. You begin to appreciate the small things. You understand the value of time, the importance of genuine relationships, and the beauty of simplicity. You realize that winning at life isn't about having more than everyone else. It's about living in a way that feels aligned, purposeful, and free. One more truth about working on yourself. You will face resistance from within. Self-doubt, procrastination, fear of judgment. They'll try to convince you to stop. Your mind will whisper, it's too hard, you're not ready, you're not enough. But here's the secret. That voice doesn't go away. You just get better at not letting it run your life. You learn to take action in spite of fear, to keep going even when the doubts are loud. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward despite it. Along the way, remember that gratitude is fuel. The more you practice it, the more resilient you become. Gratitude keeps you grounded. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already here. When you appreciate the journey, you stop rushing through it. You realize that working on yourself is not a punishment or a burden. It's a privilege. Not everyone gets the chance, and even fewer take it seriously. Gratitude makes the process lighter, and it attracts more reasons to be grateful. As you evolve, so will your dreams. What you want now may not be what you want 5 years from now. And that's okay. Growth changes your vision. Sometimes you outgrow your old dreams because you've discovered something even better. Don't cling to a goal just because it's familiar. Be willing to let go so you can reach for what's next. Above all, working on yourself is about creating alignment between who you are on the inside and how you show up on the outside. It's about making sure your actions reflect your values, your words match your intentions, and your life feels like it truly belongs to you. When you achieve that alignment, you don't have to pretend, impress, or seek approval. You simply live in your truth. And that is how you position yourself not just to succeed, but to win at life in a way that feels real, lasting, and entirely your own. And the more you live in that truth, the more you'll notice that life begins to respond differently to you. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach start finding their way to you, not because you're lucky, but because you've built yourself into the kind of person who is ready for them. You carry yourself differently, you think differently, you attract differently. And it's not magic. It's the inevitable result of becoming intentional about who you are and how you move through the world. When you work on yourself long enough, you stop chasing things and start choosing them. You don't run after approval. You decide whose opinions actually matter. You don't accept every opportunity. You choose the ones that align with your vision. You stop saying yes to things that pull you away from your purpose, and you start saying yes only to what pulls you closer. That's when you know you've grown. When your life starts to feel designed, not accidental. But growth also brings responsibility. The stronger you become, the more the world will look to you for guidance, support, and example. People will notice the discipline you carry, the confidence you radiate, and they will be drawn to it. You will inspire without trying. That's a privilege, but it's also a responsibility. Working on yourself isn't just for you. It ripples outward to everyone you encounter. Your courage might be the reason someone else decides to take a risk. Your resilience might be the reason someone else doesn't quit. To keep that growth alive, you have to stay hungry. Complacency is the quiet enemy of progress. The moment you think you've made it, you stop pushing. But life is not about reaching a finish line. It's about constantly evolving. Even when you've achieved your goals, keep asking, what's next? How can I grow further? What new skills can I learn? The hunger to improve is what keeps your life vibrant and your mind sharp. Another part of winning at life is developing the strength to face the truth, especially the truths about yourself that you wish weren't there. It's easy to point out the flaws in others, but real courage is turning that spotlight inward. Ask yourself, where am I still making excuses? What habits am I holding on to that don't serve me? What fears am I still letting control me? This level of self-honesty can be uncomfortable, but it's where real transformation begins. You can't change what you won't acknowledge. As you keep going, you'll find that life will test you with the very things you've been working on. If you've been learning patience, you'll be put in situations that test your patience. If you've been working on confidence, you'll face challenges that shake it. This is not the universe trying to discourage you, it's preparing you. Growth without testing is just theory. It's the tests that make your progress real. You also learn to redefine failure. Failure stops being something that defines you and becomes something that refines you. Every misstep, every wrong turn, every setback carries a lesson. When you work on yourself long enough, you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what can this teach me? That shift changes everything. It keeps you from getting stuck in self-pity and instead moves you into self-improvement. Part of working on yourself is also learning to manage your emotions, not suppress them. Emotional mastery is not about never feeling anger, sadness, or frustration. It's about not letting those emotions dictate your actions in ways you'll regret. When you can pause before reacting, when you can choose your response instead of being driven by impulse, you unlock a new level of power. Self-control is one of the greatest forms of freedom. The deeper you go into self-work, the more you understand that success is less about speed and more about direction. It doesn't matter how fast you're moving if you're running toward the wrong destination. Take the time to ensure your actions match your ultimate vision. Sometimes slowing down to reassess can get you further in the long run than sprinting blindly. And you must be willing to stand alone if necessary. There will be times when your decisions, your boundaries, or your dreams will separate you from the crowd. In those moments, it's tempting to shrink yourself to fit in. But remember, you're not working on yourself to blend into the background. You're doing it to live a life that feels authentic. Standing alone can feel isolating, but it's also where you find your strength. Working on yourself. Health also teaches you the value of resilience in relationships. You begin to choose connections that challenge you to grow, not just ones that make you comfortable. You learn to communicate openly, to set healthy boundaries, and to walk away when respect is absent. You realize that the quality of your relationships often reflects the quality of your relationship with yourself. When you treat yourself with respect, you naturally demand it from others. There's also an art to balancing ambition with presence. When you're driven, it's easy to get so focused on the next goal that you forget to live in the moment. But life is happening now, not just in some future where all your dreams are realized. Working on yourself means learning to appreciate where you are while still striving for where you want to be. It's about enjoying the climb as much as the view from the top. As your journey continues, you may notice that your definition of winning changes. Early on, winning might mean achieving certain milestones, reaching certain numbers, or proving yourself to others. But as you grow, winning starts to look like peace of mind, deep fulfillment, and alignment between your values and your actions. It's the quiet confidence that you're living in a way that matters to you, regardless of what anyone else thinks. You will also discover that forgiveness is a crucial part of personal growth. Not just forgiveness for others, but forgiveness for yourself. You will make mistakes. You will have moments where you wish you'd done better. Holding on to guilt only weighs you down. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing bad behavior. It means refusing to let the past control your future. Another powerful element of winning at life is contribution. There's a point in your growth where personal achievement alone is no longer enough. You start to feel the pull to give back, to help others, to use your experiences to make a difference. This doesn't have to be grand or public. It can be as simple as mentoring someone, sharing your lessons, or being a source of encouragement. Contribution adds depth and meaning to your journey. And while you're doing all of this, remember that self-growth is not always glamorous. Some days it will feel boring. Some days it will feel like nothing is changing. Some days you'll wonder if all the effort is worth it. That's where faith comes in. Faith in yourself, faith in the process, faith that the investment you're making in who you are will pay off in ways that are bigger than you can imagine. Lastly, you'll come to understand that working on yourself is not about arriving at some final perfect version of you. It's about becoming someone who is committed to growth for a lifetime. The person you are today is not the person you'll be 5 years from now. And that's a good thing. Every stage of your life will demand a new version of you. And as long as you keep showing up, keep learning, and keep evolving, you'll continue to win at life. Not just once, but over and over again. And the more you embrace that ongoing evolution, the more you begin to see that life is less about reaching a single peak and more about climbing a series of mountains. Each one shapes you differently. Some are steep and exhausting, others are long and slow, but all of them prepare you for the next. You stop fearing the climb because you've learned that every summit, every challenge, and every descent carries something valuable. You begin to appreciate the journey, not just the destination, because you've realized that the process is what turns potential into power. As you grow, you'll notice a shift in how you deal with uncertainty. In the past, uncertainty might have made you anxious or hesitant. But working on yourself teaches you that uncertainty is not a threat, it's an invitation. It's the space where growth happens, where new opportunities hide, where the unexpected can change everything for better. You stop needing every answer before you take a step forward. Instead, you learn to trust yourself enough to walk into the unknown, confident that you can handle whatever comes. There's also a deep sense of freedom that comes when you stop living for the approval of others. When you were younger, maybe you measured your worth by how much people liked you, how many praised your work, or how often you were validated. But self-growth teaches you that external approval is fragile. It can disappear the moment you make a decision others don't agree with. Once you realize that your value is intrinsic, you no longer live for applause. You live for alignment. You choose what's right for you even if it's unpopular, because peace within yourself matters more than praise from the crowd. One of the most empowering lessons you'll learn is that you can always begin again. Life will knock you down, plans will fall apart, people will disappoint you. But no matter what happens, you can start over. You can choose a new path, create new habits, set new goals. You are never too far gone, never too late, and never too broken to rebuild. The ability to begin again is one of the greatest advantages you have in life, but it only works if you believe in it enough to take that first step after a fall. As you continue to work on yourself, you'll see the importance of mental resilience. Physical strength is valuable, but it's your mind that determines whether you stand back up when life hits hard. Resilience doesn't mean you never feel pain or doubt. It means you don't let them define you. It's the ability to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing yourself, to keep going even when the road ahead feels endless. Mental resilience is built through challenges, and every obstacle you face is an opportunity to strengthen it. Another truth you'll uncover is that the quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. If you constantly ask, "Why is this happening to me?" you'll stay stuck in victimhood. But if you start asking, "What can I learn from this, Karita?" How can I grow from this? What is this teaching me? You'll transform challenges into stepping stones. Better questions lead to better answers, and better answers lead to better decisions. In the process of growth, you'll also have to learn to release control. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your vision. It means understanding that not everything will unfold on your timeline or in your preferred way. Sometimes, life's delays and detours are actually protection. Sometimes, what you think you want is smaller than